Casey's Audio Vault.
Brent Smith from Shinedown.
March 25th, 2009.
Hey, what's going on? This is Brent from Shinedown.
Where are you at today?
I'm in Norfolk, Virginia. Are we in West Virginia? Or like regular Virginia? Yeah, we're in just regular Virginia right now.
Regular Virginia.
Well, say the regular Virginia is, it depends on the time of the year, because regular Virginia can be better than, like, West Virginia. It's kind of like beer. Sometimes you want, like, Budweiser, and sometimes you want a Bud Light. It just depends on the time of year. So, since it's kind of cold outside, it's more of like a light beer day for me, so I'm good with being in regular Virginia.
And I was looking on Shinedown.com. You guys have a bit of a beer blog. I'm guessing you're a connoisseur.
Well, I've started trying to drink a couple of beers a little bit more than a fifth of Kettle One a night, and it's starting to work out a little better for me. But yes, Barry Kurtz, the drummer in the band, is actually very much a connoisseur of all kinds of beers around the world. He actually knows the process of making a lot of beers and what consistency certain beers have and the hoppiness of stuff and, how the fermentation is done. And he's actually very, very technical with it. He brews his own beer when we're off, which is, quite frankly, never. But that's the way we like it.
And you just drink it?
I just drink it, man. That's the way that's kind of the way, I look at things. To me, it's just alcohol. You're just trying to get inebriated or numb. So, with Barry, it's about that also, but it's also about, the quality of the taste, too, and everything.
Shinedown's going to be part of Rock on the Range Canada, and you're also on the bill for the regular Rock on the Range, and you were at Columbus, Ohio for last year. What can Winnipeggers expect from a big outdoor festival like this?
Well, we're definitely coming there to throw down for you guys. We've been working to getting up to Winnipeg for a long time, and just get the chance to get back into Canada. And it's been a while since we've been back up there, and we know that you guys have been supporting us from day one. So thank you, and we appreciate that. Definitely with our show, they should expect a throwdown, definitely a release. It's an intense show, even though I think we're playing during the day. So our full production won't be there, but it's all about the music. So the lighting and stuff won't necessarily be there, but sometimes you have to figure out how to be your own pyro. And Rock on the Range is a big deal. And for the American one, it was a pretty big honor for us because we found out that we were actually the only band that's been asked back twice in the history of Rock on the Range. So that's pretty cool.
And now Shinedown is predominantly a heavy band, but you, with your influences, your vocals, you tip your hat to Otis Redding and Billie Holiday. Where does that come from? Is it from parents or your upbringing?
The Otis Redding came from my dad. I was into late 80s music, and then I got into grunge and all that. And I guess when I was 14, my dad my parents didn't necessarily understand that style of music. I don't come from a very musical background, which, everybody in my family still kind of shakes their head at me because they don't really understand kind of where this music, this whole writing songs and being a performer, and from literally birth, the only thing I've ever done is music or any form of art. But my dad said, if you want to listen to a guy that really sings, listen to this. So he handed me an anthology tape of Otis Redding, and changed my life. I'd never really heard a man bleed through a stereo speaker before. The amount of conviction in the man's voice was overwhelming. And that led me to more soul singers like Al Green, Sam Cooke, Percy Sledge, Marvin Gaye. I'm talking about the greats there. But on the female side, Billie Holiday was a huge influence, Ella Fitzgerald. A young lady that doesn't get a lot of credibility, even though she is just a ungodly songbird, is a lady by the name of Nina Simone. And then it kind of trickled backwards for me after that. Then I found out about a little band called Led Zeppelin and this other band called Black Sabbath, and started kind of going into that realm. So it got more heavier style rock / the beginnings of what became heavy metal. I consider myself to be a pretty eclectic cat because my catalog of music in my brain, it's definitely a roller coaster ride. There's a lot of peaks and valleys. It's not about just one style of music. I think music's universal. I don't think that music looks at the color of your skin, whether you're a man, woman, whether you're young or old, or whether it doesn't care what your religion is or any of that. It's not biased. That's the beautiful thing about music. So I try to always make sure that I'm always keeping my mouth shut and my ears open and finding out what's new out there.
And does having an open mind translate over to becoming a dad? I understand you've got a baby boy. How has that changed? Have you been able to balance the work and the play?
Well, there's not really a lot of play with me anymore. I mean, anyone that, the people that know me personally know that over the past, 6.5 years with Shinedown, that I was a massive drug addict, and I went through a lot of ups and downs with that, because I was extremely addicted to cocaine, and I was also very much addicted to Oxycontin. And during the making of the new record, The Sound of Madness, I was in the studio, and I was still kind of, in that zone, and it was just, not a good place. And my fiance, who's been my girlfriend for over 8 years now, we're actually getting married this year on Halloween. She's also the mother of my child. She called me up and she said, "Are you sitting down?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm in the studio. What's up?" She said, "I just wanted to let you know that you were going to be a father." From that moment, quite frankly, my son saved my life in a lot of ways, I have to be honest with you. Because, I'll still have a beer with you every once in a while and things like that, but I've been clean from drugs for almost a year and 6 months now. And I have no desire to ever go back to it. I'm not the guy that will tell you that, drugs are the cool thing and this and that and the other. But, having a son, for me personally, it definitely changed my life. I realized that it was no longer about me anymore. It was about him, and it's about my family. And the other thing is, I think I woke up in a lot of ways and decided that I didn't want to be a rock and roll cliche. I didn't want to go out like, a lot of the others.
Well, how old are you now?
I'm 31 years old.
See, you made it past 27. You're in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people talk about the 27 and stuff like that, but 27 is that age where I believe Janis Joplin died. I know Kurt Cobain died at that age. Jimi Hendrix died at that age. Shannon, Hoon died at that age. A lot of really, really talented individuals, but it doesn't really stop at that age. There's a lot of people that died, later on from drugs, and for me personally, it changed my life, having a son, and I attribute to being alive and being here and, quite frankly, writing the best record of my career so far until I do the next one.
Right now, Second Chance is just gigantic. Is what you went through with having a kid and kind of turning yourself around, is that kind of where Second Chance came from?
Well, Second Chance was written way later. The album took 18 months in all. That was the writing and the demoing process and then the initial recording of the real record. But Second Chance was the song that, even though I hadn't written the words down, I had them in my head for a long time, and I had the song kind of in my head for a long time. Where I grew up, certain people around me, I don't think they meant it to be harmful, but they had a negative influence on me, which in a lot of ways became the fuel to the fire that I had inside of myself to become an artist. Second Chance is a very worldly song, though, in my opinion. It's about waking up finally that day and looking at yourself in the mirror and realizing that you want the life that you want for yourself, not what everyone else around you wants for you. And it's about leaving the nest and about going after your dreams. It's built around, if you want to be a doctor, go out and be the best doctor you can be. Don't let anyone stop you. If you want to be a lawyer, go out and be the best lawyer you can be. If you want to be a fireman, be the best one. Be a policeman. If that's what you want, that's fine. If you want to be a dancer, go be the best. If you want to be an artist, if you want to be a plumber, it doesn't matter. It's about going after what you want for yourself and not letting anyone stop you. And a lot of people that heard it go, tell my mother, tell my father, you must have not had a very great relationship with your mom and your dad. I'm like, why would you say that? Because of the way the song sounds. I'm like, no, you're missing the point. When I say the words, when I talk about telling my mother and my father that, I've done the best I can to make them understand, that's not a negative thing. That's just letting them know that I'm not leaving because of you. I'm leaving because I have to go out and fulfill my dream, And I remember when my mother and my dad, heard the song, my mom, it's her favorite song that I've ever done. She's the most proud of that song of any song I've ever written. Because I remember the day before I did leave my house and my home and everyone around me to go after, what I'm, doing now. She said, I want you to go. I may not understand what you're going through right now, and I may not understand all of this music and all of these things and these thoughts that are in your head, but if you stay here, you'll probably wind up in jail or you'll probably wind up dead. And she's 100% right.
Brent, thanks so much for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure, man. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. Sorry I was a little late, and we'll see you guys at Rock on the Range.
all the interviews you want on iTunes and at power97.com. Casey's Audio Vault.
Casey Norman is Power 97's music director and can be heard every weekday from 2 till 6 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Power 97 is Winnipeg's best rock.